Sarkeesian, May 20, 1946, is an American singer, actress, and television personality. Often referred to by the media as the goddess of pop, she has been described as embodying female autonomy in a male-dominated industry. Cher is known for her distinctive contralto singing voice and for having worked in numerous areas of entertainment, as well as adopting a variety of styles and appearances throughout her 6-decade-long career. Cher gained popularity in 1965 as one half of the folk rock husband-wife duo Sonny and Cher after their song, I Got You Babe, peaked at #1 on the US and UK charts. By the end of 1967, they had sold 40 million records worldwide. Her solo career was established during the same time, with the top 10 singles, Bang Bang, My Baby Shot Me Down, and You Better Sit Down Kids. She became a television personality in the 1970s with her CBS shows, first the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, watched by over 30 million viewers weekly during its 3-year run, and then the eponymous Cher. She emerged as a fashion trendsetter by wearing elaborate outfits on her television shows. While working on television, Cher released the US Billboard Hot 100 #1 singles, Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves, Half Breed, and Dark Lady, becoming the female artist with the most #1 singles in United States history at the time. After her divorce from Sonny Bono in 1975, she released the disco album Take Me Home, 1979, and earned $300,000 a week for her 1979-1982 concert residency in Las Vegas. In 1982, Cher made her Broadway debut in the play Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, and starred in its film adaptation. She subsequently garnered critical acclaim for her performances in films such as Silkwood, 1983, Mask, 1985, The Witches of Eastwick, 1987, and Moonstruck, 1987, the last of which won her the Academy Award for Best Actress. She then revived her music career by recording the rock-inflected albums Cher, 1987, Heart of Stone, 1989, and Love Hurts, 1991, all of which yielded successful singles such as I Found Someone, If I Could Turn Back Time, and Love and Understanding. Cher contributed to the soundtrack for her next film, Mermaids, 1990, which spawned the UK #1 single, the Shoop Shoop song, It's in His Kiss. She made her directorial debut with a segment in the abortion-themed anthology If These Walls Could Talk, 1996. Cher reached a new commercial peak in 1998 with the dance pop album Believe, whose title track topped the Billboard Year-End Hot 100 Singles of 1999 and became the biggest-selling single of all time by a female artist in the UK. It features pioneering use of auto-tune to distort her vocals, known as the Cher effect. Her 2002-2005 Living Proof, the Farewell Tour became one of the highest-grossing concert tours of all time, earning $250 million. In 2008, she signed a $60 million deal to headline the Coliseum at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas for 3 years. During the 2010s, she landed starring roles in the films Burlesque, 2010, and Mamma Mia! Here We Go Again, 2018, and released studio albums Closer to the Truth, 2013, and Dancing Queen, 2018, both of which debuted at #3 on the Billboard 200. Having sold 100 million records, Cher is one of the world's best-selling music artists. Her achievements include a Grammy Award, an Emmy Award, an Academy Award, 3 Golden Globe Awards, the Billboard Icon Award, and awards from the Kennedy Center Honors and the Council of Fashion Designers of America. She is the only artist to date to have a #1 single on a Billboard chart in 6 consecutive decades, from the 1960s to the 2010s. Aside from music and acting, she is noted for her political views, social media presence, philanthropic endeavors, and social activism, including LGBT rights and HIV/AIDS prevention. Life and career. 1946-1961, early life. Cher was born Sherilyn Sarkeesian in El Centro, California, on May 20, 1946. Her father, John Sarkeesian, was an Armenian-American truck driver with drug and gambling problems. Her mother, Georgia Holt, born Jackie Jean Crouch, is a former model and retired actress who claims Irish, English, German, and Cherokee ancestry. Cher's father was rarely home when she was an infant, and her parents divorced when Cher was 10 months old. Her mother later married actor John Southall, with whom she had another daughter, Georgianne, Cher's half-sister. Now living in Los Angeles, Cher's mother began acting while working as a waitress. She changed her name to Georgia Holt and played minor roles in films and on television. Holt also secured acting parts for her daughters as extras on television shows like The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. Her mother's relationship with Southall ended when Cher was 9 years old, but she considers him her father and remembers him as a good-natured man who turned belligerent when he drank too much. Holt remarried and divorced several more times, and she moved her family around the country, including New York, Texas, and California. They often had little money, and Cher recounted having had to use rubber bands to hold her shoes together. At one point, her mother left Cher at an orphanage for several weeks. Although they met every day, both found the experience traumatic. When Cher was in 5th grade, she produced a performance of the musical Oklahoma for her teacher and class. She organized a group of girls, directing and choreographing their dance routines. Unable to convince boys to participate, she acted the male roles and sang their songs. By age 9, she had developed an unusually low voice. Fascinated by film stars, Cher's role model was Audrey Hepburn, particularly due to her role in the 1961 film Breakfast at Tiffany's. Cher began to take after the unconventional outfits and behavior of Hepburn's character. She was also inspired by Marlene Dietrich, Bette Davis, and Katharine Hepburn. She was disappointed by the absence of dark-haired Hollywood actresses whom she could emulate. She had wanted to be famous since childhood but felt unattractive and untalented, later commenting, "I couldn't think of anything that I could do. I didn't think I'd be a singer or dancer. I just thought, well, I'll be famous. That was my goal." In 1961, Holt married bank manager Gilbert Lapierre, who adopted Cher, under the name Cheryl Lapierre, and Georgianne, and enrolled them at Montclair College Preparatory School, a private school in Encino, whose students were mostly from affluent families. The school's upper-class environment presented a challenge for Cher. Biographer Connie Berman wrote, "She stood out from the others in both her striking appearance and outgoing personality." A former classmate commented, "I'll never forget seeing Cher for the first time. She was so special. She was like a movie star, right then and there. She said she was going to be a movie star and we knew she would." Despite not being an excellent student, Cher was intelligent and creative, according to Berman. She earned high grades, excelling in French and English classes. As an adult, she discovered that she had dyslexia. Cher's unconventional behavior stood out. She performed songs for students during the lunch hours and surprised peers when she wore a midriff-bearing top. She later recalled, "I was never really in school. I was always thinking about when I was grown up and famous." 1962–1965, solo career breakthrough. At age 16, Cher dropped out of school, left her mother's house, and moved to Los Angeles with a friend. She took acting classes and worked to support herself, dancing in small clubs along Hollywood's Sunset Strip and introducing herself to performers, managers, and agents. According to Berman, Cher did not hesitate to approach anyone she thought could help her get a break, make a new contact, or get an audition. Cher met performer Sonny Bono in November 1962 when he was working for record producer Phil Spector. Cher's friend moved out, and Cher accepted Sonny's offer to be his housekeeper. Sonny introduced Cher to Spector, who used her as a backup singer on many recordings, including the Ronettes' "Be My Baby" and the Righteous Brothers' "You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin'." Spector produced her first single, "Ringo, I Love You," which Cher recorded under the name Bonnie Jo Mason. The song was rejected by many radio stations' programmers as they thought Cher's deep contralto vocals were a man's vocals, therefore, they believed it was a male homosexual singing a love song dedicated to the Beatles drummer Ringo Starr. Cher and Sonny became close friends, eventual lovers, and performed their own unofficial wedding ceremony in a hotel room in Tijuana, Mexico, on October 27, 1964. Although Sonny had wanted to launch Cher as a solo artist, she encouraged him to perform with her because she suffered from stage fright, and he began joining her on stage, singing the harmonies. Cher disguised her nervousness by looking at Sonny. She later commented that she sang to the people through him. In late 1964, they emerged as a duo called Caesar and Cleo, releasing the poorly received singles Do You Wanna Dance, Love Is Strange, and Let the Good Times Roll. Cher signed with Liberty Records' Imperial imprint in the end of 1964, and Sonny became her producer. The single, Dream Baby, released under the name Sherilyn, received airplay in Los Angeles. Imperial encouraged Cher to work with Sonny on her second solo single for the label, a cover version of Bob Dylan's All I Really Want to Do. It peaked at number 15 on the US Billboard Hot 100 in 1965. Meanwhile, the Byrds had released their own version of the same song. When competition on the singles chart started between Cher and the Byrds, the group's record label began to promote the B-side of the Byrds single. Roger McGuinn of the Byrds commented, "We loved the Cher version. We didn't want to hassle. So we just turned our record over." Cher's debut album, All I Really Want to Do, 1965, reached number 16 on the Billboard 200. It was later described by AllMusic's Tim Sendra as one of the stronger folk-pop records of the era. 1965–1967, Sonny and Cher's rise to pop stardom. In early 1965, Caesar and Cleo began calling themselves Sonny and Cher. Following the recording of I Got You Babe, they traveled to England in July 1965 at the Rolling Stones' advice. Cher recalled, "They had told us that Americans just didn't get us and that if we were going to make it big, we were going to have to go to England." According to writer Cintra Wilson, English newspaper photographers showed up when SNC were thrown out of the London Hilton. Because of their outfits, the night they arrived, literally overnight, they were stars. London went gaga for the heretofore unseen SNC look, which was neither mod nor rocker. I Got You Babe reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and became, according to AllMusic's Bruce Eder, one of the biggest selling and most beloved pop/rock hits of the mid-60s. Rolling Stone listed it among the 500 greatest songs of all time in 2003. As the song knocked the Beatles off the top of the British charts, English teenagers began to emulate Sonny and Cher's fashion style, such as bell-bottoms, striped pants, ruffled shirts, industrial zippers and fur vests. Upon their return to the US, the duo made several appearances on the teen pop showcases Hullabaloo and Shindig, and completed a tour of some of the largest arenas in the US. Their shows attracted Cher lookalikes, girls who were ironing their hair straight and dyeing it black, to go with their vests and bell-bottoms. Cher expanded her creative range by designing a clothing line. Sonny and Cher's first album, Look at Us, 1965, released for the Atco Records division of Atlantic Records, spent 8 weeks at number 2 on the Billboard 200, behind the Beatles' Help. Their material became popular, and the duo successfully competed with the dominant British invasion and Motown sounds of the era. Author Joseph Moles described Sonny and Cher as part of the leading exponents of the rock folk message type of song, a hybrid combining the best and instrumentation of rock music with folk lyric and often lyrics of protest. Sonny and Cher charted 10 Billboard Top 40 singles between 1965 and 1972, including 5 Top 10 singles, I Got You Babe, Baby Don't Go, The Beat Goes On, All I Ever Need Is You, and The Cowboys' Work Is Never Done. At one point, they had 5 songs in the top 50 at the same time, a feat equaled only by the Beatles and Elvis Presley. By the end of 1967, they had sold 40 million records worldwide and had become, according to Time magazine's Ginnia Belafanti, rock's it couple. Cher's following releases kept her solo career fully competitive with her work with Sonny. The Sonny side of Cher, 1966, features Bang Bang, My Baby Shot Me Down, which reached number 2 in the US and number 3 in the UK and became her first million-seller solo single. Cher, also released in 1966, contains the Burt Bacharach and Hal David composition Alfie, which was added to the credits of the American version of the 1966 film of the same name and became the first stateside version of the popular song. With Love, Cher, 1967, includes songs described by biographer Mark Bigot as little soap opera stories set to rock music, such as the US Top 10 single, You Better Sit Down Kids. 1967–1970, backlash from the younger generation, first marriage. By the end of the 1960s, Sonny and Cher's music had ceased to chart. According to Berman, the heavy, loud sound of groups like Jefferson Airplane and Cream made the folk rock music of Sonny and Cher seem too bland. Cher later said, "I loved the new sound of Led Zeppelin, Eric Clapton, the electric guitar-oriented bands. Left to myself, I would have changed with the times because the music really turned me on. But Sonny didn't like it, and that was that." Their monogamous lifestyle during the period of the sexual revolution and the anti-drug position they adopted at the height of the drug culture lost them popularity among American youths. According to Bigo, in spite of their revolutionary unisex clothes, Sonny and Cher were quite square when it came to sex and drugs. In an attempt to recapture their young audience, the duo produced and starred in the film Good Times, 1967, which was commercially unsuccessful. Cher's next album, Backstage, 1968, in which she explores diverse musical genres including Brazilian jazz and anti-war protest settings, was not a commercial success. In 1969, she was dropped from Imperial Records while Sonny and Cher had been dropped from Atco. However, the label wanted to sign Cher for a solo album. 3614 Jackson Highway, 1969, was recorded without the guidance of Sonny and incorporates experiments in rhythm and blues and soul music. AllMusic's Mark Deming proclaimed it arguably the finest album of her career, and still, a revelation decades later. Displeased with the 3614 Jackson Highway album, Sonny prevented Cher from releasing more recordings for Atco. Meanwhile, Sonny dated others, and by the end of the 1960s their relationship had begun to unravel. According to People magazine, Sonny tried desperately to win her back, telling her he wanted to marry and start a family. They officially married after she gave birth on March 4, 1969, to Chaz Bono. The duo spent $500,000 and mortgaged their home to make the film Chastity, 1969. Written and produced by Sonny, who did not appear in the movie, it tells the story of a young woman, played by Cher, searching for the meaning of life. The art film failed commercially, putting the couple $190,000 in debt with back taxes. However, some critics noted that Cher showed signs of acting potential. Q magazine wrote, "Cher has a marvelous quality that often makes you forget the lines you are hearing." At the lowest point of their career, the duo put together a nightclub routine that relied on a more adult approach to sound and style. According to writer Cintra Wilson, their lounge act was so depressing, people started heckling them. Then Cher started heckling back. Sonny reprimanded her, then she'd heckle Sonny. The heckling became a highlight of the act and attracted viewers. Television executives took note, and the couple began making guest appearances on primetime shows, in which they presented a new, sophisticated, and mature image. Cher adopted alluring, low-cut gowns that became her signature outfits. She believes in life after love. Welcome to Amazon Life One channel, and today we're taking a look at the life and career of Cher. Childhood. Sherilyn Sarkeesian was born May 20, 1946 in El Centro, California. She had a difficult childhood and was raised mostly by her mother following her parents' divorce. After dropping out of high school as a teen, she pursued her showbiz dreams. Sonny Bono. Cher's career started in the 1960s when she befriended her future husband, Sonny Bono. Through his connections, Cher landed work as a backup singer for producer Phil Spector and released singles under various pseudonyms. After they flopped, she recorded music with Bono as Caesar and Cleo. Sonny and Cher. The duo then changed their name to Sonny and Cher to release the pop rock album Look at Us in 1965. They were propelled into the spotlight thanks to the chart-topping I Got You Babe. Cher. Cher began as a shy performer, but the pair's success forced her out of her shell. They performed around the world, and she became known for her bold personality and extravagant fashion choices. Solo debut. Later that year, Cher found top 20 success with her first solo effort, All I Really Want to Do. She followed this with several more solo records in the mid-60s. Disappointments in music and film. However, Cher's career took a hit in the late 1960s when Backstage was a commercial flop. She worked with Bono on Good Times and Chastity, but these disastrous films failed to find an audience. Following the birth of their child, the pair headed to Vegas to fine-tune their skills and regain fans. Television show. Things improved in 1970, their appearance on a television special led to their own variety series, The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour. The show was a hit and received numerous Emmy nominations during its 4-season run. Riding on this success, they released more albums, including the top 20 effort, All I Ever Need Is You. Solo success. Cher's first #1 hit was Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves from her 1971 album of the same name. She topped the charts again with the title cuts from Half-Breed and Dark Lady. End of Sonny and Cher. 1974 marked the demise of Sonny and Cher's marriage and their TV series. Cher launched her own critically acclaimed variety program, The Cher Show, but it only lasted 2 half-seasons. More music and second marriage. The next few years saw Sonny and Cher briefly reunite on The Sonny and Cher Show. Cher's popularity with critics and on the charts plummeted with her next 3 albums. She married Gregg Allman and had a second child but was divorced again by decade's end. Film success. Following a top 10 disco hit off 1979's Take Me Home, Cher collaborated with other artists and released more albums. Their disappointing sales prompted her to act again. Critical and commercial recognition followed, including a Golden Globe nomination for her performance in a James Dean-inspired film, an Oscar nod thanks to 1983's Silkwood, and box office success with Mask. Music and movie popularity. However, it was thanks to 1987's Moonstruck that Cher won her first Oscar. That same year, her self-titled album became an international smash hit. The follow-up, Heart of Stone, went to the Billboard 200 Top 10 and produced a top 3 single, which was accompanied by a legendary music video. Success in the 1990s. The 90s were a pivotal decade for Cher. After starring in Mermaids, and finding moderate success with Love Hurts and It's a Man's World, she made a Golden Globe-nominated turn in the TV movie If These Walls Could Talk. Cher also overcame her grief over Bono's death to release her best-selling album ever. The dance-heavy Believe reached #4 in the US and produced the Grammy-winning title cut. 21st Century. The new millennium saw more well-received albums, Not.com. Commercial and Living Proof. Cher also played a 3-year residency as Las Vegas Caesars Palace, and appeared in the musical Burlesque. Legacy. Cher has done it all, success in music, film, and Broadway, plus her own perfume and much more. She's become an idol in the gay community thanks to her timelessness and fearlessness in the face of tabloid scrutiny. She also became the only female solo artist to have top 10 hits in every decade between the 60s and the 2000s. With status as an artist and a superstar, this is one woman who only needs one name. Nickname Cher, Cher Bono. Gender female. Age 78 years old, in 2024. Date of birth May 20, 1946. Real name Cher. Profession singer, actress, television host. Nationality American. Birthplace El Centro, California, United States. Religion Christianity. Zodiac sign Gemini. Cher education. School, Montclair College Preparatory School. Fresno High School. Cher career. Profession, singer, actress, television host. Family and relatives. Father, John Sarkeesian. Mother, Georgia Holt. Brother, none. Sister, Georgianne Lapierre. Marital status, divorced. Ex-spouse, Ron Zimmerman, 2010. Children, 2. Son, Ches Bono, Elijah Blue Allman. Daughter, none. Past relationships. Eric Clapton. Sonny, 1964 to 1975. Warren Beatty, 1962. David Geffen, 1973 to 1974. Elvis Presley, 1974. Gregg Allman, 1974 to 1979. Gene Simmons, 1978 to 1980. Les Dudek, 1980 to 1982. Ron Duguay, 1982. Val Kilmer, 1982 to 1984. Joshua Donen, 1984 to 1986. Tom Cruise. Rob Camilletti, 1986 to 1989. Tommy Lee, 1988. Richie Sambora, 1989. Tim Medvets, 2008 to 2010, 2012 to 2013. Ron Zimmerman, 2010. Net worth, $360 US.